Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T, and if true crime is your jam, and like me, you enjoy delving into unsolved cases, trying to figure out who done it, please consider subscribing. Also, if you find value in my content, please hit that like button. With news of Jose Roman's death came many an accusation. People pointing the finger at certain YouTubers, blaming them for this poor man's ending. We don't yet know Jose's cause of death, so it's premature to assume anything. One of the loudest people accusing YouTubers of having blood on their hands in Jose's death is the Wells' former neighbor, Jodi Sue Brown. Now, I'm not against Jodi Sue, and I'm not out to get her in any way. Honestly, I think she just happened to live across the road from the Wells. That's it. And if her son was on the Wells property, I think he probably was looking around for evidence. Well, Jodi Sue did a live recently in which she used the vilest and nastiest language to attack BK and Justin of Justice for All and insinuate that they caused Jose's death.
Because I'm pretty pissed about this. And they're all going to start lighting up. Because right now, what they're trying to figure out is how they're going to fucking play this. After what they've done for how many weeks now. Watch them try to figure out how to play this. Watch them as they all scramble through the night, this evening, coming up on summer's 1 year. Because they're already trying to figure out how to latch onto that school shoot. We've just shown our audience for several weeks that we really don't give a fuck about the vulnerable, or about exploiting people's family deaths, or about pushing those who are close to the edge over the fucking cliff.
Jodi Sue, you have a Cash App. You scroll a banner that says your PayPal. You came to your YouTube fame through the disappearance of Summerwell. Jodi Sue called creators big and small MFers, and a lot worse than that. She composed entire sentences out of the crudest terms. She even used the red rum word. In Jodi Sue's expletive-laden rant, she said that everyone knew that Jose had mental health issues, and thus they should not have tracked him down like an animal and put him in front of a camera. I agree that Jose had mental health issues and suffered from alcoholism because he told us as much when he willingly appeared on Justice for All's channel. Jose talked about having issues with booze and also depression. At the same time, Jose was asking Justin for help hooking him up with the big fish of YouTube true crime, Chris McDonough of The Interview Room. And Justin got Jose that big game. Jose chatted up a storm with Chris M and his thousands of subscribers. No one forced Jose to show his face and talk. Jose made that decision. Did he feel like he had to defend himself against accusations? Maybe. But if he'd stayed quiet, not shown his face, he could have avoided some of the harsh spotlight. In the beginning, Jose was celebrated as a hero of the Summerwell saga, which, by the way, rhymes with Gaga. People were thanking him for providing a vivid, living image of Summer and bringing the 5-year-old to life, taking her off the celluloid and putting her into a living, breathing being for us. The way Jose described Summer was nothing short of beautiful. But of course, YouTube fame quickly turned to YouTube shame when people, including Jodi Sue by the way, began questioning him about how long he actually stayed at the Wells home and what exactly he was doing there. And Jose was guilty of exaggerating the length of his stay at 110 Ben Hill Road. But if Jodi Sue wants to blame BK for Jose's death because he talks smack about him, then she needs to put herself in that same pot. By the way, I'm not a BK fan because I can't keep up with his constantly changing alliances, and I don't respect anyone for doxing people, playing games by calling the police, wasting the cops' time, etc. So this is not about defending people who do dirty deeds, I just want to point out the hypocrisy I'm seeing. In Jodi Sue's video entitled Don equals Predator Speaking on Predator, Jodi Sue accused Jose of watching and studying her and others personally involved in the Summer Wells case on YouTube, and then trying to weave himself into their stories as if he were there. Jodi Sue said the Jose thing disturbed her very much, and that Jose seemed sus as hell to her. But Jodi Sue's most egregious accusation against Jose was when she stated that Jose has very much the personality of a predator and was someone trying to take credit and be the hero of the situation. Take a listen.
Or pointed at anybody in a way that was like, holy shit, right? Because the Jose thing really does disturb me on that level. It very much does. Jose has struck me as the type, he's been watching and studying all of us for a very long time. To have the stories he has that he has tried to weave in like he was there, and the things he says, and little hint drops he gives, and how quick he catches on even overnight, and has added stuff into like the second interview he did, shows me, and that he is making winks at like stuff he's able to, that you can tell he's not just fed and led on by these interviewers. He has literally the other night watched our stuff, watched stuff be shared, and was able to remember them and spit them out verbatim, like a quote I shared, other things, you know. That was one of the things that very much disturbed me about Jose. It's like, man, this person is watching deep, like, and studying all this, knew the language, knew everything that we all use, right? The Voldemort, the Grandis, he responded to it and it picked it up in the lingo. Has very much the personality of somebody, or a predator trying to take credit, but while being the hero.
Jodi Sue insinuates that Jose is a likely predator.
Predators or children often do take them from environments that are not the best, right? And that way they can justify it in here with, well, I've taken them from, or I'm the hero. Well, guess who has that mindset? It seems like our little Jose character has that type of mindset. And that's what disturbed shit on me the other day. He comes rushing in, has studied all of us in a creep-tastic ass way. Now he's trying to go to little higher-ups that he thinks are like, they have credentials and psychological backgrounds. And he was very perturbed that he wasn't allowed immediately to go there. He kind of had a reaction to that when they told him he had to hold out and hold on, whatever. And mentioned he'd already been kind of interviewed in the background. And I kind of wonder if that was part of the negotiation with them, was that he could, I'd love to know how all that went down.
Stating that Jose had the mindset of a predator of little kids was about as bad of an attack as anyone could have made on the man. Jodi Sue did that. How can she fault others when she did the same thing? Isn't this an example of the pot calling the kettle black? If BK and Justin are at fault, then Jodi Sue is too. She talked at length about Jose and said terrible things about him. Sorry, but I can't stand by and listen to someone blame others with such an air of self-righteousness when that person did the same thing. Jodi Sue also said that by moving into the Wells home, Jose booted the Wells kids out of their rooms when space was already very tight. That was something that upset me when I heard it. I felt even more sorry for Summer and the boys than I already did when she said that Jose took away the little space there for those little ones. I took Jodi Sue's words to heart at the time. I trusted her as a first-hand witness to the shenanigans at 110 Ben Hill Road. I'm not a fan of BKs. However, Justin of Justice for All is not a malicious human being. He may have gotten the big scoop when he landed Jose Roman's first interview, and that likely propelled Justin on YouTube and won him a lot of subs. But he didn't attack Jose. Far from it. Jodi Sue said highly malicious things about Jose, not Justin. Jodi Sue doesn't get to be the shero of the Jose Roman story after the fact. That's not how that works. You don't get to point the finger at other people when you were doing the same things. The things she said likely caused Jose deep mental anguish and reputational damage. If you call someone a predator or insinuate that they're a predator of children and that person possibly hurts himself because of it, then you too, my dear, have blood on your hands. Personally, I don't think that we should be slinging blame at anyone for Jose's death. First, we don't know the cause of death. Second, Jose was an adult. He made his own decisions. He also knew he had problems. Perhaps he should have flown below the radar if he didn't want to be criticized. The spotlight that drew him in put him out there. That was his choice. It may not have been his choice to be tracked down. That I agree with. But once he was found, he could have decided how to handle that. It's tragic that Jose died so young. He had kids. He even had a grandchild from what I've heard. I hope he didn't end it all. I pray he's at peace. I wish the same for Jodi Sue. Just please don't point fingers when you did the same thing. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories.